So here we're finding the perimeter and the area of 3 different triangles. So if you're doing this, it's always good to make sure you label what you're looking for. So write out the words perimeter. And we know the perimeter is the distance around the outside, so we've got 11 plus 12 plus 11.2158. Which then gives the answer of 34.2158. The area of a triangle is a half of base times height, which is a half the base and the height. The height is always perpendicular to the base, so because this is a right angle in here, this is my base, this is my height. 10, and that final answer ends up being 56.079. For the next one, it can be a little bit hard to see what the base and the height is. Now, because this is at a right angle, one of these will be the base, one of these will be the height. So here's our base, here's our height. So I'm going to do area first, it's probably the easier one for this problem. And area was a half of base times height, which was a half of 3 times 6, which is a half of 18. So 9, because it's in metres, my area is metres squared, which means back here I should have done centimetres squared, and perimeter is just centimetres. Now perimeter can be a little bit more difficult because we need to know the 3 sides. At the moment, we don't know this side here. So that's where we need to go through our other skills and think, okay, can we find that side? Now I know this is a right angle triangle. So if it's a right angle triangle, I know Pythagoras works, so I'm going to do that up here first. And get c squared is a squared plus b squared. So I'm going to call this one a and this one b. It doesn't matter as long as my hypotenuse is labelled as c. So we've got 6 squared plus 3 squared, which gives us 36 plus 9, which gives us 45. So I need the square root of 45. Let's get rid of that and that. So I'm going to check that on the calculator. And I've found out that side length C is 6.71. Good thing to think, does it make sense? It's a hypotenuse, it's the longest side, it has to be longer than 6. 6.71 seems to fit. So then for this, I'm just going to do the P for a perimeter. If we need the perimeter, we've got 6 plus 3 plus 6.71. So you're looking at 12, 13, 14, 15.71. And the answer's in metres. Last one, people tend to get a little bit confused for this, but it's still the same formula because it is half a parallelogram, and parallelograms are base times height. So I'm just going to do an A for area this time. It's a half of base times height. This triangle's base from here to here is 3, and the height from the bottom to the top at right angles is this 6 metres on the side. So a half of 3 times 6, which gives us 9 metres squared still. So even though it's landing on the side, this shape here and this shape here do have the same area. They've got the same amount of space within them. And the perimeter, and now I should write out the whole lot of the words, but I was just running out of space. For this case, it's got 3 on the bottom, it's got 9 on this side, it's got 7 on that side. So we're looking at 3 plus 9 plus 7, which gives us 19 metres.